Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 31 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I am on the server with Soren and Player and Chicken Bones. Chicken Bones, are you in chat with us? He is
He's muted.
here, and he's like, I'm leaving you. He's muted, so I guess he's either busy or something. That's cool. Do we have ender tanks now, Soren?
Yes,
Nice.
we do.
I want to try those out at some point. Oh, they look fancy. Look at that. That is a cool looking render.
I
We have...
wound up having to make a texture for it, but he did
Oh,
an
did you?
epic rendering of it.
Awesome. And he was going to have some other item, I think. Is that implemented yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. But we need to try out ender tanks at some point pretty soon. But not in today's episode. Today's episode, I want to continue the thing we were working on the last couple days. So we have a massive array of barrels. They're all extra dimensional at this point. And what happened to all our coal dust? Is that all the
I
coal
might have
dust
used
we
it
have?
making another HV. I don't know.
What?
I'll start making more. I used it to make an HV.
Oh, you did? Well, that's not that big a deal. I mean, we have pretty close to enough to make an HV. Well, we're about halfway there. We're low on coal. Yeah, we should grab some UU. So I want to show the YouTube audience some of the work that I did between last episode and this one. You want to go grab a handful of UU with me?
Okay.
Oh, we have 307 stacks of UU matter. That's cool. So how many HV solars do we have down there now?
We should have 3 and a low voltage.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. That is cool, man. Also, our flux level here is dangerous. I don't know why. Do you know
I
that?
don't do magic.
What?
I don't do magic, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I blame you still. So I grabbed an inventory full of UU matter. Our UU matter line should be, at this point, keeping up with everything we've got. So you can see here I'm just throwing it in and it's going to toss it through. Now I actually upgraded most of the machines and a lot of stuff here, and at this point all of these machines can keep up with everything. I also added the separate line of all the iron here, so you can just throw iron into this chest, for example, and it will feed into the induction furnace. And you'll see that because induction furnaces have 2 cooking slots at a time, it can keep up with the rapid influx of the autarkic gates. Now for the other ones, like this was the machine that was hardest to get working. It's the extractor. You can see, however, though, it is keeping up. We're running with 10 overclocker upgrades. Craziness. We've got an MFSU here attached and a medium voltage solar array. So it keeps the MFSU full, and then we're draining a lot of the power to keep all these machines running at the speed they are running at. And then I actually had to have an autarkic gate, and 1, 2, 3, there's actually a 4th underneath redstone engine. So 4 redstone engines plus the autarkic gate in order to pull out the rubber fast enough from the extractor to get it to go into the item tesseract here. So we need a massive amount. Now, if we wanted to, we could have probably gone with something like an electric engine or something else that pulls out more than one item at a time, but this works for now. We should really bug CPW to add a better autarkic gate that can pull out stacks at a time. I think he's kind of thinking about that. Induction furnaces obviously keeping up. Tin, copper, and the macerator with 10 overclocker upgrades again keeps up with the coal dust production. So you can see it's perfectly balanced to how fast the autarkic gate goes. So that way the macerator is going well. And we don't, as we said before, still have this thing. Now this thing did disable itself just now because we backlogged, probably on redstone. Yes. So see how the redstone inventory on the fabricator fills up? Yeah, that's what happens. So the fabricator fills up and it just holds up the system, and then once there's more room in the fabricator, the system is allowed to run again. So that's what happens when you kind of overfill too much UU matter in the chest. But it's okay because once everything kind of, catches up, then it continues running again. The wonders of Red Power 2. Gotta love it. So long story short, yes, these systems can backlog. The slowest point at this moment is the autarkic gates, but because we've got Red Power 2 here feeding the fabricators, everything starts running again once it can, which is good. And it continues to be balanced as far as I can figure. So, yeah, not bad. So you can see here again, redstone, the red one is backlogging, so everything's kind of closing itself off and then running again, and things are cool. How do you like it, Soren? Is that a tesseract frame in your hand?
Maybe. No, it's not.
Not anymore.
You
Nice.
saw nothing.
Indeed. So today, what I want to do, Soren, is get the solar building thing. So we've got a big, huge line of barrels filled to the brim with all kinds of cool stuff. What I want to do now is be able to automatically pull the required items out of the barrels and feed them into this chest, which has a ton of stuff in it. Who left junk in the chest? Is that your stuff?
I'm gonna walk away slowly.
I'm looking at you, buddy. I'm just saying, I noticed that like we were really low on coal dust, and then like there's a ton of coal dust in here. You know, you only need like a handful of stacks for that, right?
We know where it went now.
Yes, we do. Now we know where our coal dust went. I'm like, why is it so low? Oh, because somebody can't do math.
I just took whatever, threw it in, hope for the best.
Yeah, like I said, can't do math. You just took whatever and threw it. We built this perfect system, and it stacks, dude. It's really easy. It's really, really easy.
Goodbye, cobblestone. I don't need you anymore.
Anyway, so how about we get working on a solution here. Now, step one is I want to use the inventory upgrade turtles. And I was about to say that we need to go fight the wither for this. But I believe Richard G changed the recipe on the inventory module to require the interactive sorter. So it's 4 eye of ender, 4 gold, and interactive sorter, which is some diamonds and some pistons and another eye of ender. All right. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these interactive sorters with 8 turtles, and I'm guessing 8 redstone wireless modem thingies. So that way we can do the wireless modem, we can do the interactive sorter, and all that cool stuff. And I think that's a plan. So how about I go get crafting and come back when I've got the components needed for what hopefully will be a really fun build. Alright guys, we are back, and we are now joined by Pahimar and Lex Manos. What's up, guys?
Pahimar went to go get juice.
Pahimar is not here at the moment. Fail. So I've got a couple things in my inventory. I've got a router, and I've got some wireless inventory turtles. We've got wireless modules, we've got inventory modules, and I'm going to pop down this router right about there. And is there stuff in this chest still? Of course there is, because Soren is noob. Really?
I know nothing.
Alright, so that's the purple side. I needed to know what side this thing was on, and the chest was in my way. Rawr. Okay, so purple side. What I want this item to have is the machine filter upgrade and the ejector upgrade. And I want to say this is in extract mode, and oh, look at that. But I don't want it in extract mode. I want it to be from the turtles. Extract only from turtles. Haha. So you can see it's now only going to extract from turtles, which is why it's no longer extracting things. And I want to eject whatever it extracts from the turtles out the purple side. So, for example, if I put something in this turtle's inventory, it should instantly be pulled out and thrown in the chest. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see happen. And this is how we're going to manage stuff, because I want to have a line full of turtles. So if I put a turtle here, these turtles are now adjacent to each other, and this guy should also get pulled from by the router. Nice. So I'm just going to run turtles all along the line. Well, I might not do this yet. I'll have to write the programs next. But that's the basic gist, right? So here's my concept at a high level of what I want this line to do. Is I want to write one program, and I want it to basically be a master control server that will send the commands to each turtle. And the command that the turtle receives will simply tell the turtle how many... Oh boy, the air around me suddenly becomes...
What'd you do?
Flux. I didn't do anything. There's minimal flux in the environment, and it's choking me. Alright, so the program will... The turtle will receive a signal that tells it how many items to pull out. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pull that many items out of the inventory above it. It's just going to hold it in its inventory, and then the router is going to instantly pull it out of the turtle's inventory and throw it in the chest. So the programs can all be the same, like just the exact same program. Wait for a number, and then pull that number of items out of the barrel. And the master computer will say to this turtle, for example, pull out 3. And it'll go into the... items here and pull out 3. Those 3 will then go into here. Cool. There's one more thing I think I might need on this guy. Let's see, if I put a half a stack, yeah, I don't want that. I want the thoroughness upgrade. So I need to go get that upgrade next. And I'm going to turn this guy off for a minute because I don't want any sorting machine functioning yet. So let me go get a thoroughness upgrade, or is it bandwidth? I think it's bandwidth. Pretty sure it's bandwidth.
Stacks, 2 cents.
Yeah, stacks at a time. Do we
There
have a
should
bandwidth?
be one in there.
Machine filter, bandwidth. Yeah, there we go. That's the one that pulls stacks at a time, right?
Yep.
Nice. Because, you know, like, for example, you know, we're going to be pulling 13 of this rubber at a time. So that's, you know, going to be cool. So, stacks at a time now, and boom. There we go. Pull the whole stack out. Perfect. All right. We will be back in a minute once I write a little bit of code. Now, I think I want just a normal computer to sit here. I could probably go with a gold one. Why is this chest here? I want to move this chest. This looks like a Soren chest to me. It's actually worse than a Soren chest because instead of just putting random junk inside of a wooden chest, he put like 4 items inside of a diamond chest, and they were all random junk. So, Soren, I'm looking at you. Let me teach you a little trick here, Soren. You ready? Come here.
I'm going to walk away.
Right? Like, look, here. I've got random junk in my inventory. I don't know what to do with it. Oh, I'm going to put it in an ender pouch, and I can just... oh, look, it's getting sorted now. Hey, how cool is that? Now I don't have to put down a chest on the ground. And look, my inventory is empty now because I used an ender pouch, because that's what they do. See, look, I didn't know what to do with that diamond chest. I threw it in the ender pouch. It's somewhere in our main base. I don't care where it went, but it went somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I love how condescending you sound as you just throw things into the void and just magically know what's going to happen. Like, see this sword? This is how you avoid junk. You just throw things into the void and it just works out.
And look, Pahimar's here.
That's basically what he told
Well,
me.
Pahimar, have you experienced the Soren clutter?
Don't worry about it.
I'm just asking.
I heard Soren Clutter is going to be coming out after XYZ Craft.
Yeah, like Soren clutter is becoming awesomely epic.
Where's that slap button? Slap Pahamai.
True. Poor Soren. So I'm just going to real quick make a golden turtle so I can program this a little bit easier. You going to come join us on the server, Pahimar?
I will have to decline. I have too much work to do.
Sad. Oh, you know what? I need a wireless modem too. Do you have one of those extra? I know you crafted extra things.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, I knew you had extras.
You like me and my clutter. I know it.
Yes.
Were for my clutter, we wouldn't have excess stuff.
That's one way to put it. Let me just tell you, Pahimar, that I said to Soren, like, hey, can you craft me a few turtles while I craft the inventory module upgrades? He's like, sure. I come back and he's got 4 fabricators and a tesseract for some reason. And I'm like, what are you doing?
The tesseract with the stone.
Yes, apparently he used the tesseract to feed the stone into the computers for the turtle. And 4 fabricators.
You see, our magical sorting system doesn't seem to have any... Oh, here it is. Never mind.
Huh? Oh.
I took it back.
I see. Alright, I'll be back in a minute, YouTube, once I write some code. Alright guys, we are back, and I've written a very basic program just to demonstrate how this works, alright? All it does is the following. I open up the RedNet, and I wrap the peripheral on the left, which is the inventory module. Then I wait for a RedNet message to come across. I transform that RedNet message into a number, and then I pull items out of the inventory above it, suck up, using 0 as the inventory slot. Barrels only have 1 inventory slot, and it's always slot number 0. And then I use the number, which is the message that was received, to determine how many to pull. Okay, so that's cool. Next up, we're going to check out this. So I'm going to run this right now, auto pull. It's just going to sit and wait for a redstone signal, or a RedNet message. It's just going to sit and wait for a RedNet message. What's up, Bahimar?
I'm just realizing through watching your videos and listening to you, I almost feel like someone should make a mod that turns Direwolf's cools into a currency.
I know. Like, that's one of the things you actually, like, are told, and I think, is, like, not to overuse a word, but I'm not good at this. Yeah. So, anyway, here's a basic demonstration of how this program works, right? This program will just send the message number 3 to computer ID 154, okay? So that's all it is. So let's run this. Solar Factory. Boom. And what should happen is this turtle should have pulled the number 3 is what I sent it, so it should have pulled 3 coal out of the chest above. Perfect. Coal dust. 3. Nice. So the reason we did that is now this auto pull program is generic, and I can copy it to all the other turtles that are going to sit underneath this little guy here. And yeah, that's it. Like, all the turtles can all have the same program. I don't have to write a custom program for each turtle. It's very simple and basic. This master server will be the more complex program, of course, but for now, we're there. So let me copy this code to all these other turtles, and I'll be back. All right, guys, you ready for this? This is going to be cool. All right, so I've written some basic code. Again, like, I like to build my code in chunks. So I'll like write something simple, and then I'll expand upon it, make it more complex and more complex and more complex, and eventually get to the point where I want it. But that's the best way to write code, is write simply and then expand. So right now there are 6 solar panels in this fabricator, correct? I just want to make sure that, okay, there's an LV, cool. Is there a, okay, cool. We don't, oh, we do have LV transformers. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm going to pull these out for a minute just because I don't want this to auto-upgrade to an LV. I want you to see it become 8. So I wrote a program that's really, really simple. You ready? Boom. All it does is it defines a function called make solars, and I basically want to make 2 solars at a time because that's how my sorting machine runs. It makes 2 solars at a time, so I want my function to make 2 solars at a time. And all I'm doing is sending a message to each computer by the computer ID with the number of items to pull. It's very simple. So anytime I run the make solars function down here, it should wind up making, 2 solars. Let's run it by running solar factory. Boom. And what we should get instantly in this chest are all the items needed for a solar factory to make 2 solars. Perfect. Then I just got to turn the sorting machine on, which I purposely left off just so I could show you the items landing in the chest. And then, boom, it runs. Cool. Not bad. And then it's all going to show up right in here. And you can see the fabricators making their thing. Woot. And in the end, we should wind up with, now we have 8 solar panels. So every time, it's going to make 2. Nice. So now, to make this more fun, we're going to make this, should we go touchscreen, Soren? Does that sound cool?
Maybe.
Right? Like, one thing I wanted to do, like this was basic, right? Like, just get it going. But I'd really like these turtles to be able to, send a message back. So I think I might do that. Let's write a program now, modify the turtles here to, instead of just, going through and, just randomly blindly pulling, what I want it to do is send back a message to the master server with just the true or false as to whether or not it was successful. And then what I'm going to do is program the master server to give an error message and say, hey, I'm out of X. So let's say, for example, we were low on coal dust, right? So we've got a ton in there right now, but let's say we were low. If it ran out of coal dust, right, it would send the message saying, hey, grab 3 coal dust. That suck command gives a true or false response if it was successful or not. So if it responds with false, then it will send that false message back to the master server, and the master server can put a message on the screen that says, hey, I failed to get to 3 coal dust. And it'll stop processing and wait until more coal dust is presented, and I can just have it like somebody, click OK or something on the error screen, and then, you're good to go. So I'm going to show this off the chicken bones real quick. And we'll be back after I make that change. All right, guys, we are back, and time for a proof of concept. I have modified, I think I modified the coal program, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I probably didn't do that one yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's modify this real quick. There we go, quickly modified. All I'm doing is storing the success of the sucking command in a variable called success. And then I send that message back to the sender ID that initially requested the items. So the master server will say, hey, give me these items. The ID of that master server is stored in sender ID right here. Okay, and then we're sending the message of whether or not we successfully got those items back. Okay, so let's do auto pull. So we're ready for this. Okay, now next over here, I've got it set up for the following. We've got a function called getItem now, which is way more complex than it was just a minute ago.
Player, another annoying thing about these.
There we go. Muted TeamSpeak for a minute. I'm not using push to talk because, V. Get item does a rednet.send, and then it sends the message just like it did before. Or it sends the message and then it waits for the response. So it says, "Hey, give me 6 coal dust," and then it says waiting for a response, true or false, and it will print that message to the screen, which is more of a debug command right here. I'll probably comment that out eventually, and then it says while that message is false. So if the message comes back false, it's going to do everything here, and it's going to keep doing it until the message is true. And what it does is it prints out of, and I created a table of sender IDs and data. So yes, that'll work fine. So like basically coal dust is the name of computer number 154. So computer number 154 gets sent a message. It comes back saying false. It says out of coal dust. It looks it up in the table. And then I'm not pressing V. Somebody else is doing that. And then it says press any key to continue. Or try again. And then I forgot to tell it to wait here. One sec, let me do that. So there we go. It should just wait for an event to happen, which a key press will be. And then it's going to try and send the message again, and then it's going to get back the true or false message again. And if the message comes back false, it's going to loop its way back up to the top and run that whole function again. So it's going to keep running until it gets back the message true. So we're about to test this, okay? So now I just need to modify the make solars command to go ahead and use the get item for coal dust. Okay,
try the link again. It seems to work now.
What's up? And I also purposely emptied out all the coal dust from the barrel here. So we've got 8 in there. Remember, each time we run the solar factory, it's going to pull 6. So the first time this runs, we shouldn't get any error message, and then we'll have 2 left. The second time it runs, we're going to get an error. And I put all the coal dust in here temporarily. So 35 is what's at the end, right? Or 32. Okay, 32 is there. All right, so let's run the solar factory command. And this guy, I think, is disabled at the moment, right? Yes, he is. Do expected. All right, guys, I think I fixed the bug, so let's test it now. So this time, it should have no problem pulling the coal dust out. Correct. And it responded true. Nice. Now, I just want to modify this real quick, because message actually comes back as a Boolean. There we go. Out of coal dust. Press any key to try again. Out of coal dust. Press any key to try again. Cool. Now if I put coal dust in, and then press a key, boom, it should continue and finish, and it grabbed the coal dust out. Nice, that's what I wanted to see happen. Cool, now I gotta update all my other turtles. Alright guys, so I basically just took what I had done to coal dust and did it to everything. So we can see here now that when I run the solar factory, it's going to run and respond true to everything, because it successfully pulled everything. And look at Soren playing with you matter as usual.
Just not the same after you made it stack.
Nice. I like this a lot.
Well,
so
what stack? What stacks?
No, 1-3 made it so items stack with each other.
Oh, yeah, on the ground. Like,
so I can't.
Yeah, items auto stack with each other.
The fancy graphics with the items that. Yeah, the 3D items on the ground don't look that snazzy actually.
Alright.
It looks like really weird and thick.
Next up, I want to specify how many solars to craft, and then try doing this in bulk. So, I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, real simple. Now I tell it how many solars to make. It's going to check if that number is divisible by 2, and then it's going to run the make solars command half as many times. So if I say make 8 of them, it's going to run the make solars command 4 times. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and each one will make, 2, so we get 8 solars in the end, right? If it's not divisible by 2, then I probably want to say something like else print number must be divisible, must be even, that's fine. Cool. So now I can do solar factory 9, and I should get an error. Solar factory 8 should create 8 solars. So let's see how many solars we've got sitting here at the moment. We've got 6. Okay, so I'm gonna actually I'm gonna make 10. Does that sound cool, Soren?
Yeah.
And then what we should get in the end here, we've got 2 low voltages at the minute. We should at the end have enough solars such that we have cool stuff. Why do we have a generator here? Why you being generator?
We also have a circuit in here.
Yeah, that's normal. Usually there's an extra circuit and some extra copper laying around, but there shouldn't be an extra generator. That disturbs me a little. Somebody probably broke something. That's all I can assume at this time. Sorry. Alright, I'm going to make 10 more. And that should give us, in the end, we should have 0 solars and 4 low voltage solars. Are we out of rubber? Lies. How did that happen? Did it fail somehow to pull?
I like when nothing's broken, we all just assume Soren until told otherwise.
Yes. Alright, I probably have to add a sleep command in here because this is probably running too fast.
Even though it's just as likely that it could be Chicken Bones code.
Ironically, this is either one.
Yes, I'm going to put a sleep command in here. We're going to make one more low voltage. Now it's going to take a little bit out of refined iron. Alright, so running it again. Alright, so again, it got clogged somehow. You know what probably happened is that this guy was full, like this slot, and it was unable to pull down more because it was still looping through everything. So a little bit of sleep is going to go a long way. So that's cool. Soren, do me a favor and clear out that chest.
I'm gonna like this one because then that chest empty out my current inventory.
We're going to see if a 1 second delay between loops is enough. Here goes nothing. Yay, it would appear to be enough. I mean, at least for, like, the purposes of doing it, 10 times, which I think is a solid test. So that should have pulled enough stuff for 10. I'm going to go ahead and let this run, and we'll be back in a second. Alright guys, so this worked perfectly. I actually had to make a minor code change where I wound up editing, I'll show you Solar Factory. And all it was is I was creating one more than I should have every time. So I had to change this for loop to have a -1 at the end. So it was always creating one more than it should have. No big deal. But no, it worked. It worked great. I'm really happy with how well it worked, actually. So now we have a manual way we could walk up to this computer terminal and just say, hey, Solar Factory, make me X solars. And it will make them all for you. I can say 10. I can say whatever amount. So for example, like right now, I've got this thing set to auto pull still. This chest is empty. Everything should be ready to go. We've got no solars, and we've got 5 low voltage. So if we wanted 3 more low voltage solars for a total of 8, which is enough for medium voltage, it's real easy, right? We just need 24 more solar panels. So I'm going to try this with a large number, 24, right now. And we should go ahead and run. Now, you can see I've obviously placed monitors on top of this computer, and the reason for that being, well, yeah, I want to make this touchscreen controlled. Oh, see, it's still getting stuck. I might have to add logic into it so that it, like, if it does get a false message, it sleeps for a second and tries again before prompting for user input. Shouldn't be too big a deal. Keeps happening on rubber, which is not a surprise because rubber is like the thing that we're pulling 26 of at a time. So I'm thinking what's happening is like this slot is filling up with rubber and it fails to pull from above because it's full, and then that's why we get the success failed message. I'm guessing it's something along those lines. But yeah, now we should have just gotten enough stuff to make some low voltage solars. So we should, in the end here, wind up with 8 low voltage solar arrays because I requested 24 more. Cool. So like I said, I want to have it touchscreen controlled, and I think because I did like a big long episode of coding, I'm not going to spend next episode doing that. I think I'm going to do all the coding between this episode and next, and hopefully when we come back, I should have a really neat little program to show you, where you can walk up, you can specify what you want to have, and etc. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it touchscreen controlled or just monitoring the output. Like maybe I'll just have it be, yeah, there's a couple things I could do. Like maybe I'll still have you walk up and specify, I don't know, I'll figure it out. One way or another, we'll get that thing going. So for now, let's just check and see that we have 8 low voltage solar arrays, and we have nothing else. So everything else should be clear except the except this one should have some extra copper and rubber, but that's by design. Everything else, nice and solid. All right, guys. So pretty happy with the way the solar factory turned out. Like I said, people will be able to come here and just request X number of solar panels and get them. Soren and I will do our best to keep like the supplies going, but obviously people will be encouraged heavily to bring their own supplies. But, you know, we've already filled up a lot of stuff in here. And we've got more UU matter producing back home. Right, Soren?
Yep.
Nice. So I'm going to make a few tweaks to the program, and then maybe next episode I'll come back, show you it in its, you know, functional final form, and then we'll move on to some new projects. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of Direwolf 20's Let's Play series, the server play. It's about that wrapping up point, I'm sorry to say, so we better get going. All right, everybody, take it easy.